This is our last FRQ prep question of this unit, and it's pretty similar to the first one, the first one that we've done here actually. It says, assume the U.S. economy is currently operating below full employment. Okay, well that's pretty straightforward. And it says with a balanced budget. So, A, draw a correctly labeled graph of AD, SRAS, LRAS, and show each of the following. So this is virtually exactly the same as the last problem. So A, and we'll do a nice big graph here and say GDP, R, price level, aggregate demand, short run aggregate supply, and we're in a recession, so LRAS is over here. Okay, we got some dots, and that's Y1, YF, and so that's done, PL1, that's done, SRAS done, LRAS done, aggregate demand done. Okay, now, next part B says the U.S. government increases spending by $100 billion. Which is financed by borrowing. Okay. How will the increase in spending affect each of the following? So B says cyclical unemployment. So if we're in a recession, there is some cyclical unemployment. And if we boost aggregate demand, that would shift the curve to the right. It would reduce cyclical unemployment because you'd have fewer people who are unemployed as a result of the business cycle. For part 2, the natural rate of unemployment. And that, remember, if you remember right, is connected to YF. And so that's not going to change because YF isn't going to change as a result of this increase in aggregate demand. The natural rate, if you don't remember from last unit, is structural plus frictional. It's not your cyclical unemployment rate. Now let's take a look at C. C says if the MPC is 0.75, calculate the maximum possible change in GDP that could result from a $100 billion increase. Okay, so if MPC is 0.75, MPS is 0.25. All right, MPS is 0.25. So the spending multiplier is 1 over 0.25, which is 4. And so we just say positive 100, that's our change in government spending, times 4 is equal to positive 400. So that's our correct answer. Now let's take a look at F. F says, assume that instead of financing the $100 billion increase in spending by borrowing, the U.S. government raises taxes by 100. Okay. With this equal increase in spending and taxes, will GDP increase, decrease, or remain the same? Explain. Now, I told you that this was going to come back to us, right? We actually did this problem a little bit earlier. It was at the end of page 13. We said if there's an increase in spending of 100, an increase in taxes of 100, change in GDP would be 100. So we did this problem once already in a different video. And this is just saying, would it increase, decrease, remain the same? It would actually increase. And we can say because the spending multiplier is greater than the tax multiplier. That's a simple way of answering this. You could also say because the change in G results in AD going, or output going up by 400, and the change in T yields a decrease in output of 300. And so overall, change in output equals positive 100. So you could actually have solved the problem as well, or you could just have said spending multiplier is bigger than the tax multiplier. All right, so hopefully this helps you understand FRQ prep number 2, and I'll see you next time.